Здорово, народ! Наткнулся я вот на такую игру. Она мне понравилась. Она очень нестандартная. Она будет мешать нам ее пройти. Будет заставлять нас делать то, что она хочет. И не давать сделать нам то, что хотим мы. Но мы будем пытаться ее обмануть.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
Интересная очень работа. Сидите, нажимать на
Orders came to him through a monitor of his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Наш герой не очень
No
умен.
one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Целый час не мог понять, что
Never in
ему
all
не
his
поступает
years at the
никаких
company
приказов.
had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Мы можем действовать так, как нам говорит автор, а можем не действовать так, как нам говорит.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Куда же все подевались?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Игра сделана на движке STEM, поэтому похоже на Half-Life. Это неудивительно.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
Слева. А
left.
может быть, я хочу в правую дверь. Ну, пройдем для начала так, как хочет автор. А потом попробуем его обмануть. Тут очень много сотрудников. Больше 400.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Двери закрываются автоматически.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Может быть, попробуем взломать эту
Stanley
панель?
couldn't possibly have known this.
Но Стэнли же не знает пароль. Но он не может быть сложным. Может быть 1, 1, 1, 1. Нет. 1,
Stanley
1,
just sat around
1,
twiddling his thumbs.
2.
Stanley simply began entering
Я
random
взломаю
codes
эту
into the
панель.
keypad. knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2, 8, 4, 5, it would be another story entirely. 2, 8, 4, 5.
1, 5. 1, 1, 1, 6. 1, 1, 1, 7.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Может быть, продолжить взламывать панель? Ладно. Ну вот, автор уже поддался на нашу уловку. Ну давай.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Да, а ведь это странно. Наш герой только сейчас начал сомневаться в смысле своей работы. Раньше ему казалось очень логичным и интересным сидеть и нажимать на кнопки. Без всякой на то причины. Стэнли пошел прямо в двери, на которой была написана станция управления сознанием. Нет, он пошел на выход.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent
death. Я
death.
пойду лучше туда.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Нет, я хочу выйти.
Nope, still on board with
все-таки
death.
хочет умереть? Ну ладно, не буду. Не буду. Немножко помучаем, потроллим, так сказать. Игра напоминает портал. Тут тоже есть какой-то, так сказать.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom.
За каждым работником этого здания следили. Это ли не странно? Шестьсот сотрудников.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Автор очень много говорит, поэтому я стараюсь не перебивать, чтобы никому не мешать. Ну, и что нам дальше делать? Ну, выключим эту машину и увидим концовку. Одну из них. Мы сейчас поступили так, как нам говорил автор. Практически. Немножко только его потроллили. А так пришли туда, куда он хотел. Получилось?
Yes.
Да.
He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Ведь наше здание не стоит посреди поля какого-то. Так что это был явно обман. Ну а тем временем... Ну давай. А тем временем мы начинаем все сначала. Ой.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
Время, по-моему, идет.
Here it comes.
Я не только про секундную стрелку. Все, вторая концовка есть. Очень быстро. Да, часы действительно идут. А сейчас мы не будем слушаться автора.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
Да,
it.
я хотел в комнату... Нет, я не хотел в комнату отдыха. Нет. Ты меня обманываешь. Ну да, я пришел в комнату отдыха.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
В первую дверь слева, говоришь? Хорошо. Хорошо, в первую слева, так в первую слева. В первую слева, так в первую слева.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Да, я плохо следую указаниям вообще. Я просто не разбираюсь, где право, где лево. Ну, бывает. В принципе, для человека, который сидит за компьютером и нажимает на кнопки, на которые ему говорят, и при этом считает эту работу самой лучшей и интересной, неудивительно, я бы так сказал. И куда же мы пришли?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
Так я сам свою историю творю.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Нет, ты не получишь ни единого шанса. Тут даже нет двери, которую можно закрыть с собой. А эту можно. Может быть, тут какие-то двери все-таки открыты.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Да, в красную. Я просто немножко
Perhaps you
дальтоник.
misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ну, блин, синюю хочу.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Что здесь?
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Ну да, я хочу попробовать в оранжевую дверь. Она такая деревянная, такая старая. Ну ладно. Впрочем.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Ну, я пока не знаю, стала она лучше или нет. Я вижу там в конце какую-то дверь. 3.
Oh, of course.
А,
Three.
естественно. Тройка.
Really?
Может, в
Maybe
следующий раз
next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes?
Я поставил оценку ему.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Хех. Что тут у нас? Что-то типа каких-то рекордов. А, это мое время. Сейчас. 7 часов 37 минут. Мое прохождение. Самое худшее. 9328 место. Ну да. Ну да.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Да, я хочу протестировать новую игру. Это же круто. Новая игра.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Интересная игра. А можно на смартфон себе установить такую? Интересно, мы будем 4 часа в нее играть? Пожалуй, нет. Хватит.
You heartless bastard.
Did
you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Что, у нас будет новая игра? Даже более интересная, чем спасти младенца от огня? Я даже представить не могу.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with.
Почему нельзя копать?
But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
В Майнкрафте? Давай. Дайте мне копать. Я хочу копать.
No, here. And then...
Слушай, дом из земли, это отлично.
See, what does it need?
Круто.
Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off... Yes.
Дверь.
It's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
Эта игра даже круче, чем я
думал. You've only seen
думал.
it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
А еще варианты есть? Как жаль, что я не могу прыгать. И копать. Не прыгать, не копать. Могу только присесть. Ничего больше не скажешь? Ну ладно.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
Да, отлично.
It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Да, давай. Из алмаза по-любому круче. О. Я не хочу падать вниз пока что. Ведь я не могу подняться обратно. Ну, других вариантов у меня нет, я так понимаю. Ой, я могу тут проползти? Ну-ка, ну-ка. Блин. Я хотел обмануть систему. В пещеру. А вдруг меня крипер сожрет? Ну, точнее, взорвет.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Да, у меня есть чем обороняться. Это что? Какие-то крестики, не похоже на железо это.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Ну, черт. Но есть и плюс. Он нас все еще не убил. Посмотрим на новую игру. О, моя любимая игра.
Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Ты же копия
You
этой
trapped in a
игры.
glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Давай. Поставь портал. Ну, можешь спросить у Гладос, что тут делать. Она подскажет. Тут нет стекла. А я сразу и не догадался. Дай мне утяжеленный...
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. You're forte.
Ты думаешь, это сложно? Ты думаешь, эта загадка сложная?
Genius.
Гениально. Еще бы.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
Ну-ка, не шути
And I
так.
highly doubt you're any wiser for the
Хочешь,
experience.
чтобы я пошел
Which is
вниз?
why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives...
Бета. Куда же мне пойти? Может быть, в дверь, которой как бы нет, но есть только рама. Дверная коробка. А может быть, сюда? Или лучше сюда? Дайте мне фонарик. Ой, вау! Нет, отсюда должен быть выход. Может быть, пойти сюда или туда? Что же ты делаешь? Зачем так все темно? Я почти ничего не вижу. Он даже не говорит нам правила игры. Свет. Ну ладно, пойду на свет. Я думаю, он хочет, чтобы я пошел на свет. Мне кажется, он... Мне кажется, как будто мы приходим снова в комнату управления сознанием. Ничего нельзя нажать. Это как-то обидно. И вообще ничего нельзя сделать. Отлично. Тупиковая ветка. Что случилось? Что произошло?
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Подождем вместе конца. Ну что, друзья, что-то не так. Что-то явно не так. Время снова 20 минут 12-го. Но...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Но все совсем не так. Не шути со мной. Я знаю.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Это какая-то пасхалка. Что написано? Консоль. Да. Daft или Dark или Down или Dank. Буква как-то затерта. Ну ладно. Так уж и быть.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
какие
it.
двери открываются? Еще какие-нибудь пасхалки? Например, дверь без номера. Что здесь? Довольно-таки странная комната. Может быть, тут проводятся собрания анонимных алкоголиков. Тут только стулья по кругу. И какие-то... Как они называются-то? Блин, вот бывает такое слово из головы вылетело и все. Ну, короче, документация хранится в них. Типа шкафы. Вот они.
Wow.
Да, комната
Yes,
отдыха.
this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ладно, попробуем сюда.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Да, ты думаешь так? Ты так думаешь? Нет, не хочу кататься на этом лифте. Он какой-то стрёмный. Мы уже 5 минут ходим. Да. Прошли по кругу. Вот черт.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Черт. Если пойду вниз... Если я пойду вниз... Я же еще не ходил вниз. Отлично.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Интересно.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun. And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
Нет, я
I
не
want
думаю
my apartment
такого.
and my wife
Я не хочу
and my
возвращаться
job.
к своей работе, нажимать
All
на
I
кнопку.
want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Нет, тут все совсем не в порядке.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Невеселый конец. Ну а впрочем, я подумал, что продолжим мы уже в следующий раз. Мне показалось, телефон зазвонил. Его можно взять. Но нет, это моя ошибка. Еще одну быструю концовку.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait.
Всем пока.